I heard and felt a growth, and that's what matters. Brother Daniel said some things that is very true. When he began to say, he said, I'm not much, and that's the way I feel, and that's the way any man that's called to preach ought to feel anyway. It does take the Spirit of the Lord to preach a man.
Yes.
And we are nothing but a vessel. We're less than nothing. But one thing we are children of the Most High God. We're a child of the King. Mm-hmm. And Paul said in his writings, I am what I am, and that's by the grace of God. See, He makes a new creature out of people. That's why He said the old things has passed away. Behold, all things are new. What does He mean by that, Brother Randy? I think it simply means our thoughts and our things we're used to do.
Yes.
They just kind of fade away, the old man. And we have new thoughts, and they're about Him and His glory and how to please Him. That's why I find myself often saying, Lord, is everything okay with me and you?
Right.
When I was a boy, we all was children at one time, and it was when we was little, we wanted to please mother and father, didn't we? Because we knew if we didn't, we'd get a spanking.
Yeah.
We'd get our hind end wore out. Just the old time saying, right? And we would. And that's the way the Lord is today, too. He chastised those He loves.
He loves, yeah.
So if you venture too far out, He'll draw you in. How does He draw you back, Brother Andy? Withholding that loving spirit. And then you find yourself, Lord, I need you. I need to feel that again. I need to feel that. I hope you'll pray for just a moment of time, and then Brother Randy will come. The Bible is so plain and so simple. Sometimes we make it harder than it is.
Yes.
And as Brother Daniel his words were strong and wonderful, Brother Wills, and what it simply is, you must believe, he said, that I am He. And a man said, well, if believing's all the devil believed, and he was the devil, and then you've got to do more than that. But when you believe, when you first believe, then you start drawing close to God.
Yes.
And what that does, then it causes a godly sorrow to sit up in your life, in your heart. Have you ever had that, men and women? Because if you haven't repented. A godly sorrow will have to sit up in your heart.
Yes, it does.
God, you have to become sorry for what you've done toward God. He said, with a broken heart and a contrite spirit will I look, saith the Lord. So it's not a boastful look. He says here a proud look He hates. That's the only thing I read in here where He said He hates, is a proud look. And so then He wants to see His people humble, or humble, however you want to pronounce the word. But He wants to see humble. Brother Daniel, He likes His people to be a begging people, a crying people. And somebody said, them Baptist people, all they do, they moan and groan. Yeah. They got a sound, and it's a lonesome sound, and I don't like it. And it don't suit everybody, I know, and that may be okay. But I just find myself sometimes with all I got, is like I said, Paul said, I am what I am, and that by the grace of God. And the sound He gave me is all I got to say. And I want to lift my voice up, Brother Will, to Him, as you said today. I want to lift my voice up. Brother Randy and I was talking as the brethren was beginning their sermon, and we was talking about a man one time in the Bible, and his name was John, and you can read about him. And he was out on the banks of Jordan, wasn't he? We've all read it, haven't we? But this man, John, came, and he said he had the voice of one crying in the wilderness. So then today, I don't believe that man went out there and he began to say, and as we do sometimes when we first start getting along, just talking to people as we do every day in life. Did he, Brother Will? He wouldn't have drawn them, would he? There was something different about that man, Todd, and it wasn't his looks, because the Bible said he was a pretty rough looking fella. If you read this story in the Scripture, He wasn't pretty to look at, I guess, and didn't have the nice clothes that we have today, Letha, today. But there was something different about this man. Brother Will, what was it different? He had a voice in him, didn't he? He had a spirit in him. I say he had the Holy Ghost in him. If you want to know what it was today. And this voice that was in him was crying out to men and women as if you're a man of God, if you're called to preach. You're going to warn men and women today. I'm not going to tell you today that everything is going to be okay in your life if you lay your hand in his hand. No, it won't. But I will tell you today that when you come down to leave this world here below, you leave, as the song says, all your problems and all your heartaches behind, and you'll see him coming after you. I can tell you, relate a little story to you, if you will, for a moment. But this man had a voice, honey. He had the voice of one crying in the wilderness, and he was preaching to the church then, Todd, and he was telling them what's going to come. There's a man coming whose shoelaces I'm not worthy to stoop down and unlatching. This man I'm telling you about, he's coming, and I'm here today to tell you I'm not worthy to get down at his feet and unlatching his shoes, Brother Will. But he loved me, as you said. Bless your life, son. I know you miss father and mother, and they come on your mind, as mine does. But my mom had a brother, and he was coming down. He was 44 years old, Brother BJ, and he belonged. He was a minister, but he was pretty hard on things and people, you see, and sickness came upon him. And my mother believed this, and I don't know it. Only the Lord knows. But she said, I think sometimes Bubby was so hard. That's why the Lord took him so early. But he was a child of the King, friend. And when you leave here today, all that matters is if you're a child of the King. Money won't get you there, Todd. A new car won't get you there. A pretty wife won't get you there. What's going to get you there is the love of God shed abroad in your heart. Jesus Christ, He'll get you there, men and women. But I love what Marvin said. I was named after him, Todd. But you know what he said when he was in the hospital dying? And he said, he looked at my mother and he began to say to her and her sister, oh, sissy, do you see that? Do you see that? No, Bubby. What do you see? I see some old time brethren coming after me. I wasn't with Brother Jerry when he passed. I wished I could have been holding his hand. I wished I would have been holding Dad's hand. I don't know what they say, but I got the sweetest feeling. Brother Will, the Lord takes care of His people. Amen. The writer said, His left hand is under my head, His right one embraces me. Oh, He'll carry us away. He'll carry us away. Marvin looked at them and he said, they're coming after me. Oh, and he raised his hands up and he said, oh, look at there. Look at there. Almighty God. Almighty God. You see, when you come down to leave this world, you're going to see where you're going. Now, I've heard Brother Jerry preach this, and you all have too. An old sister that was in the church for 40s for some years, maybe, or 30 some years, and she was there, and he was there by her bedside, and he said she looked like a Christian, we would think, but she was laying there, Sister Darlene, and she said, "Oh, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. The flames are all about me. I'm going to hell. Whoa, I'm not repented. I'm not repented." She looked like a Christian, though, you see. That's why I find myself sometimes saying, "Lord, am I okay? Am I okay?" Men and women, I don't want you to settle on anything short than sovereign grace. Sissy, you say you're praying, don't you? Pray on, pray on, pray on. Our time is running out, men and women. Do you believe that tonight? I want you to tell your children, time is running out. I want us all to go. I love to be able to put every one of you in my arms tonight and draw you close. But I know a man who can, and he will. He said, "Come unto me." You heard Brother Wills quoted. Brother Gent quoted it. "Come unto me, all ye ends of the earth, and be ye saved. For I am God, and besides me, there is none other." There is none other.
No other name given.
He's the greatest friend you'll find in life. He's the greatest friend. You know, a man asked me, actually me and Brother Jerry was together, and he came to us at a funeral, and he said, I'm praying, I just can't feel nothing. Brother Jerry said, "Pray on." He said, "When will I know? Can you tell me when He's going to save me?"
You know it.
And I said, "Son, you'll tell us when He saves you. We won't have to tell you. There'll be a different smile on your face. There'll be a different look about you. There'll be a different feeling when you hug one another. There is. There's a change comes into man when the Lord comes in their life. There's a change comes into man. You hear Brother Will say, "I didn't like standing up in front of class even. I sure wouldn't be where I'm at tonight if I didn't feel the love of God down in my soul. I wouldn't want to stand up and tell any man or woman anything. But I can tell you this. I was once lost, but now I'm found. I was once blind, but now I see. Why? A man named Jesus came by my way. He anointed my eyes and made me become one to see." What do you see, Todd? I see what I was, and I see where He brought me to. I see where I'm at, and I see my little path. And it leads up. It leads up. There's struggles along the way, aren't they, Brother Randy? There's heartaches along the way. There's trials, tribulations. There's sadness. It's not always joy. But when it is joy, it's joy, 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 unspeakable joy. It's so much joy, sometimes my cup runneth over. And you can see it as it flows down my eyes. My eyes are the windows to this world. And when He closes them, I'll open them in a better land. In a better land. Please continue to pray for Brother Randy as he comes. I wanted to say that I love these young brethren, and I want to encourage them as I did. The first time I took the stand, maybe the second or third, the first time I took the stand, the Lord carried me out so good. I thought, man, is it going to be this easy? It felt so good. The second time I took the stand, I couldn't hardly say nothing. And I said, I know I ain't done any good. I made that comment. And I sat down, and Brother Jerry, not here, but where I was at, Brother Jerry was sitting on the other side of Todd. He got up and he moved beside me. And he put his arm around me, and as the next brother come, he whispered in my ear this. And I tell this for these brethren. and for the glory of God. But he said, don't ever say you failed.
Right.
Because you don't know the words you speak may lodge in somebody's heart. Just the simple words
Just a simple
that you
word.
speak. He said, if any man that stands for God is not a failure. Is not a failure. He's let the world know that I stand for Jesus Christ. When you come from the world, when you give your hand to the church, you're letting the world know, I belong to Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not the same as I used to be. Continue to pray.